teach me.
Fast!
All of y'all bumping this in your cars from AM to PM. Me, what you see when you look at me. The same way, say, whatever you need, that's me.
You said love never dies, Tina. I love you. I've never loved anyone the way that I love Wayne.
No, so my husband is French, and we've been together for over 7 or 8 years. And
What if the girl who sang your favorite 2000s party anthem nearly gave it away to Jennifer Lopez? And what if that same decision launched one of the most resilient careers in entertainment, only to crash into heartbreak, scandal, and a gun pointed at her face?
I thought about even when, I was in that, abusive relationship back in the day.
Christina Milian didn't just survive the music industry. She weaponized every setback into her next move. But before the platinum records and the Hollywood red carpets, there was a broken down car, an eviction notice, and a prayer that changed everything.
And I was like, it had gotten to this, and we had gotten the food and they gave us, all the necessary needs that we needed. And when we went home and I started opening the box, and as we were walking and I'm looking, like there's ants in the boxes and stuff.
The question isn't whether she made it, it's how she's still here, thriving, unbothered, and serving beignets in LA while the world watches. Born Christine Flores. On September 26, 1981, in Jersey City, New Jersey, Christina Milian grew up in Waldorf, Maryland, in a tight-knit Cuban-American family. Her parents, Don and Carmen Flores, were young, just teenagers when they had her. They'd fled Cuba as children, part of the refugee wave that reshaped South Florida. But Maryland, that's where Christina's dreams took root.
When your parents are seeing you do that and you're saying you want this so bad, they're like, okay, well then we'll get you vocal lessons, or you want to take some tap classes, and I take a couple little things locally. I grew up in Maryland.
She wasn't like the other kids. While they played outside, she was inside, singing into hairbrushes, memorizing every Janet Jackson routine, studying Diana Ross like it was homework.
I think through, the times that I grew up, I had Michael Jackson, Madonna. I had people like Janet Jackson, Diana Ross, even. All those people were still such strong influences.
She'd press her face against the TV screen, trying to climb inside the music videos. Her mother caught her once with a screwdriver, literally trying to unscrew the back panel.
When I was little, I tried to get inside of the television. That's how bad it was. My mom saw me, and I believe this, and I know this, with a screwdriver trying to get in the TV.
That wasn't curiosity. That was hunger. By 9 years old, Christina was already working musical theater tours across the country, belting Broadway standards in packed auditoriums. She wasn't performing for applause. She was performing to survive. Her family was struggling, bouncing between temp jobs and survival mode. Every gig mattered, every callback was life or death. Then came the call that changed everything. Los Angeles. Agents wanted her. Hollywood wanted her. At 13, Christina and her mother packed up and moved west, leaving her father and 2 younger sisters behind. It wasn't a vacation. It was a gamble. They landed at the Oakwood Apartments, the breeding ground for child stars, where Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, and Ryan Gosling all sharpened their teeth. Christina was surrounded by future legends, but she wasn't intimidated. She was hungry.
1 year after that, my parents are like, okay, this is costing us a lot of money. This is a lot of fuel, a lot of gas. Tina, if you don't book anything, then, we're going to have to take a break. So it took a break for about a year, and then I just wanted it so bad. I begged them and begged them and begged them again. Got an agent locally. My first audition I went to, I got the job.
Christina's first break came through hustle, not luck. She met producers Spanky and Charles in her apartment building. They had a makeshift studio and asked if she could sing.
So right before Rodney Jerkins, I met another guy that was in my building. They were called Spanky and Charles, and Spanky and Charles were the first people that they had like a little studio in their apartment. And they were like, do you sing? And I was like, yes, I do.
She opened her mouth and hit them with full Broadway arias. They blinked. Can you do runs? She couldn't, not yet, but she learned fast. At 15, Christina's world imploded. Her parents divorced.
My dad asked for a divorce from my mom, and that was like around 15.
The money dried up. Her mother, Carmen, suddenly became a single parent to 3 girls in one of the most expensive cities in America. They had no furniture, no safety net, just each other.
What was happening in our life, but all of a sudden it was my mom and I having to raise my 2 sisters, and we decided to stay here in California instead of going back to Maryland.
Christina started babysitting. Carmen took temp jobs. Together, they cleaned houses.
She started taking temp jobs. I started babysitting, hosting at restaurants. We started cleaning houses together, and we really went through this survival.
They stood in food lines at a North Hollywood church, surrounded by people who had even less. Christina cried, not from shame, but from determination. That walk home, her mother made her promise something. Focus on your career, sacrifice everything else, and I'll take care of the rest.
And I'm crying, and my mom, she said to me, Christine, and we made this promise to each other on that walk back home that we were gonna focus, that we were gonna sacrifice.
They dressed in white, lit candles, prayed. The next day, Carmen lost her voice, and with it, the temp job she needed. But their neighbors knocked, offering free groceries before moving out. Christina found 10 cents under the couch, just enough gas to get to her music class at Valley College.
And we just appreciated all the little things. So little answers were coming to us. I would find 10 cents under the couch so I can get a little gas, just so I can go to the Valley College.
God was answering, just not the way they expected. At Valley College, Christina met someone connected to David Foster, the legendary producer behind Celine Dion and Whitney Houston.
Christina signed her deal for $125,000.
For a girl who'd been evicted twice, that was a fortune.
We were there, and my mom and I are laughing and crying, laughing like we just signed a deal for $125,000. I didn't think I'd ever see money like that. We went from zero.
Yeah.
I had actually we were getting evicted, and my attorney had to forward us money in the meantime because I wasn't going to be able to pay it.
But her attorney said no, meet more people first. So she did. She flew to New York and sang for Tommy Mottola at Sony. She met L.A. Reid. She met Jeff Fenster at Island Def Jam, the man who discovered Britney Spears in sync. She sang one song, a cappella, no track, just her voice. Jeff Fenster signed her on the spot.
The day I got the deal with Island Def Jam. Jeff Fenster came to me and offered the deal. I went in, sang a cappella.
September 2001, Christina signed her deal for $125,000. She was 19 years old. That same day, their car broke down on the way to the lawyer's office. Smoke poured from the hood. They had to push it up a hill in Hollywood, laughing and crying at the same time.
And the day I finally signed my deal, we literally drove our little tourist station wagon to the attorney's office, and that thing, it was broken down.
5 months later, AM to PM dropped.
People getting it down, that's right. From AM to PM.
The song was pure Y2K energy, bubblegum pop with an R&B twist. Designed for TRL countdowns and mall speakers. It hit number 3 in the UK and cracked the Billboard Hot 100. Christina was suddenly everywhere. MTV, BET, magazine covers. She toured with NSYNC. She opened for Britney Spears, but she wasn't satisfied. She wanted more.
But Ja Rule was one of my first, Def Jam albums, CDs that I bought. So I was a fan of Ja Rule, holla, holla, I was like, oh yeah, heck yeah, I want to work with him. And so he played me the song, and the song was dope. It was there. It was every little thing that we do. And so I went in the booth, sang it.
Then came Between Me and You with Ja Rule.
The freaky things that we do. Let's keep between me and you.
Yo.
Christina didn't write it. She didn't even know it would be a hit. She just showed up, sang her part, and left. A month later, she was shooting a music video with one of the biggest rappers in the game.
And within a month, we're shooting a music video, David Myers, up in Porter Ranch, Chatsworth, in this giant house, and I'm shooting a video.
The song exploded. Suddenly, Christina wasn't just a pop star. She was the girl, the one who could slide between hip-hop and pop without breaking stride. But here's the twist. Christina didn't even want Between Me and You to be her single.
'Cause every little thing that we do, should be between me and you.
She had another song ready, a party anthem she'd written in 20 minutes called Play. Then Tommy Mottola heard it, and he wanted it for Jennifer Lopez. Christina didn't hesitate. Take it.
And then like a week later, Tommy Mottola comes to Sweden to come get some songs for J-Lo, and he hears the song play, and he fell in love with it. And he's like, "We need this song for Jennifer Lopez." And they were like, "Are you cool to give it away?" I was like, "Hell yeah, yes!"
Why? Because she had something better. A song that would define her entire career. Dip It Low dropped in 2004, and the world lost its mind.
When you give it to 'em good, pick it up slow.
It wasn't just a song, it was a moment. The production was hypnotic, layered, sultry, impossible to ignore. Christina wasn't the teen pop princess anymore, she was a woman, and she was taking control. The music video? Body paint. No clothes, just art and confidence. The song hit number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. It went platinum. It earned her 2 Grammy nominations, and it cemented her as one of the biggest R&B pop crossover stars of the 2000s. But then came the lawsuit. The copyright owners of a 1983 song called La Sirena claimed Dip It Low had illegally sampled their track. Christina was sued. So was her label. So were her producers. She fought back and eventually sued her own producer to recover legal fees. The case was a mess. But Christina kept moving. While the music industry tried to box her in, Christina was already plotting her next move, Hollywood. In 2003, she landed the lead role in Love Don't Cost a Thing, a remake of the 1980s classic Can't Buy Me Love. Her co-star? Nick Cannon.
I've been fronting about who I am, who I want to be for as long as I can even remember. And on the real, I'm tired.
They had chemistry, real chemistry, on screen and off. The movie became a cult classic, especially in the Black community. To this day, people quote it. But Christina wasn't done. In 2005, she landed a role in Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty, starring John Travolta, Uma Thurman, and Cedric the Entertainer. She had to audition 4 times. She was exhausted, flying back and forth from Texas where she was filming Man of the House with Tommy Lee Jones.
Extra thick crust.
I can't. I'm on the zone.
What zone?
The proper combination of protein, fat, and carbohydrates.
This combination right here is proper as hell.
By the final audition, her voice was cracking. She thought she'd blown it. Director F. Gary Gray cast her anyway.
So I get the audition, and they had John Travolta and Uma Thurman involved, and I knew it was the sequel to Get Shorty.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
Then came Bringing On Fight to the Finish in 2009.
Hey, Skirt Sky. Look, I got you looking good. This is impromptu flavor school for you guys. About to loosen you guys up.
Critics dismissed it, but teenage girls, they made it a sleepover staple. Overseas, it was retitled American Girl and became a phenomenon. Christina didn't care about the reviews. She cared about the check and the longevity. But while her career was soaring, her personal life was crumbling. In 2009, Christina married music producer The Dream. He was a hitmaker, responsible for Rihanna's Umbrella and Beyoncé's Single Ladies. On paper, they were a power couple. 3 months later, Christina was filing for divorce. The Dream had cheated, and not quietly. Christina was pregnant with their daughter, Violet, when the truth came out. She gave birth in February 2010, 9 days after he filed the divorce papers.
2 of us, it's crazy in the beginning. It was a little hard because we went through a divorce and it was a lot at once, especially because I just had the baby. And going through a divorce is just not fun at all.
The settlement was brutal. They fought over everything, including publishing rights to Justin Bieber's Baby, a song Christina had helped write. She lost that battle, but she won something more important, her daughter.
I started living real life after I had a divorce. So my daughter Violet came along, I met Dream, got married, had a crazy whirlwind life of 1 year and a half. And then I had to figure out my life after that. I'm getting a divorce, got a divorce, the whole deal. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm figuring out my career, start getting little roles here and there.
Then came Lil Wayne. Their relationship was public, messy, and documented on her reality show Christina Milian Turned Up. For a year, they were inseparable. She called him her soulmate. She said she'd never loved anyone the way she loved him.
He's the sweetest. I love him.
That's
Oh.
Then came the rumors, the other women, the lies. Christina hired a private investigator. The proof came back. She confronted him on camera. The breakup aired on national television. She cried, but she kept moving. Years later, Nick Cannon admitted he regretted not having children with Christina when they were together.
Like, baby,
She laughed it off. That ship sailed, honey. But the real story, the one Christina didn't talk about for years, it started long before the dream, long before Wayne. At 18, Christina was in an abusive relationship. She was physically assaulted. A loaded gun was pointed at her face. She stayed because she was scared. She stayed because she loved him.
You know, abusive relationship back in the day.
I remember he instilled that fear in you that if you left him, he would hurt us.
Yes.
And because of that, you stayed in it.
Yeah.
But like literally to the point where you almost lost your life.
Then one day, she didn't. She packed her things, changed her number, and disappeared. She didn't talk about it until 2015, and when she did, she made it clear. She wasn't a victim, she was a survivor. In 2017, Christina met French singer Matt Pokora at a restaurant in Saint-Tropez. She was dancing on tables, he was sitting in the corner trying to avoid her. A mutual friend tried to introduce them. They both said no.
My husband happened to be at the restaurant too.
Really?
And he heard and he was like, that sounds like you got the real thing up there. And he's like, I did. He's like, you wanna meet? And he's like, no, I don't wanna be a fan.
Then they locked eyes, and everything changed. They share the same birthday, September 26th.
We have the same birthday, and I think that was one of the things too that was just so interesting because I'd never met someone that I liked that had the same birthday.
Wow.
And we get along really well. We're a good balance.
They got married in December 2020. They have 2 sons together, Isaiah and Kenna. Christina splits her time between Los Angeles and Paris now, raising her 3 kids in 2 languages, 2 countries, 2 worlds. But she hasn't stopped working. In 2024, she starred in Netflix's Meet Me Next Christmas, a holiday rom-com that hit #1 in over 75 countries.
When James and I met, it was like magic. And we made a deal.
What if we meet next Christmas at the Pentatonics concert?
Shut up.
She's producing now too, executive producing, building franchises. And then there's Beignet Box, the dessert company she co-founded with her best friend. They started with a food truck, now they're franchising. Christina's in the window sometimes, serving beignets herself, covered in powdered sugar, laughing with customers who can't believe it's really her. Her estimated net worth in 2025, $6 million. Not bad for a girl who once pushed a broken down car to sign her first record deal.
Gotta stay, what do they say? Persistent. Stay persistent. Yeah. Stay persistent but patient. I do believe in patience.
Christina Milian never stopped moving. She pivoted when the music industry shifted. She acted when Hollywood called. She produced when she wanted control. She opened a business when she wanted ownership. She survived abuse, heartbreak, and betrayal. She raised 3 kids. She moved countries. She learned French. She kept showing up. And she's still not done, because Christina Milian doesn't do endings. She does the next chapters.